Hello, today I'm going to review Independence Day 2 Resurgence, sequel to the first Independence Day film back in 1996. Now, I really loved the first Independence Day film ever since I was a kid in the 90s. It had a great story, awesome acting, amazing special effects, and mind blowing action scenes. It's one of the best alien invasion movies ever, one of my favorite movies of all time, and one of the greatest summer blockbuster movies in movie history. It also can prove that Roland Emmerich can make a good movie. So when I first heard that a sequel is going to be made, I was like, really? Why would they have to make a sequel to a movie that is that good? And what is there left to tell? Also, how would they do that if Will Smith was not involved, and one of the actors from the first film who plays the US Secretary of Defense is dead? However, I became excited to see this film when I saw the trailers. I went to see it in 3D and it was okay. It's not bad, but it's not as good as the first film, and I'm going to tell you why I think this way. The story of this film took place 20 years after the events of the first film. The whole Earth has become more futuristic and peaceful, as well as doing the 20-year anniversary of the events on Independence Day for defeating the aliens. However, the aliens have come back to invade Earth. When the humans has found out that the aliens is coming back, they must team up together to fight the aliens once again. I find this story to be very cliche. While there are some cool moments, it pretty much lacks the spirit of the first film. The special effects in this film are alright. They're not as great as the special effects from the first film. I will admit I like the base in the moon, the weapons, and the new designs of the alien spaceship. Unlike the first film where they used both CGI and practical effects, every buildings, spaceships, and aliens are all in CGI. The action scenes in this film are pretty cool, I will admit. It's awesome to see the battle between the humans and the aliens. However, the action scenes in this film are nowhere near as amazing as the action scenes in the first film. Now for the acting, directing, music. Returning from the first film is David, played by Jeff Goldblum, one of my favorite actors. Thomas Whiteman, played by Bill Pullman. Davis's father Julius, played by Jude Hirschauer. Dr. Ulkan, played by Brent Spiner, who is best known as Data from Star Trek. And Stephen Hiller's Willow, Jasmine Hiller, played by Vivica A. Fox, who is from Kill Bill. Jeff Goldblum, as always, did an amazing job playing that scientist who is a genius and knows what is really going to happen when the aliens has come to Earth. I have to say, he's definitely the best part of this film. David even has a new girlfriend played by that British lady, which I find it to be just, really? Whatever happened to Davis's ex-wife from the first film? It just does not seem right. It is cool to see Bill Pullman return to play Thomas Whitmore, who is now the former President of the United States, and Jude Hirschauer as Davis's father, who was funny, but they didn't really have much to do in this film. I was surprised to see Brent Spiner returning as that funny scientist who I thought he died in the first film, but it was revealed that he had a coma. Jasmine Hiller was in this movie for a short time. Unfortunately, Will Smith as Stephen Hiller makes no appearance in this film because they say that his character was killed off in between the events of the first film and this film, which I find that to be just dumb. Also, Thomas Whitemore's daughter, Patricia, and Stephen Hiller's son, Dylan, are not played by the same kids from the first film. Patricia is now played by Micah Moreau, and Dylan is now played by Jessie Usher. All I can say is that Micah Moreau, while a good actress, was completely miscast to play that former president's daughter. And Jessie Usher, well, he did okay. He tried to be like Will Smith, but it was not in that level. As for the new characters like Jake, played by Liam Hemsworth, President Elizabeth, played by Celia Ward, Joshua Adams, played by William Fichtner, Rain Lau, played by Angela Baby, that African guy who is good at killing aliens, Charlie, played by Travis Topp, and Samantha, played by Joey King, who is from The Dark Knight Rises and Oz the Great and the Powerful. Only ones I think did a good job is Angela Baby and that African guy. While I think Liam Hemsworth is a good actor, he needs to stop playing the exact same character. Joey King and William Fichtner I think did a decent job, but the rest like Sela as the new president and Travis as Charlie are so boring and forgettable. Roland Emmerich did a wonderful job directing the first Independence Day film, not so much in this film. The music was good, but not as memorable as the music from the first film. Overall, this film was decent. It was entertaining, but it was not as good as I thought it was going to be. I do not love it, but I do not hate it. I'm pretty much in between. The first film will always be the best. This was just not the same without Will Smith, but at least Jeff Goldblum still did a wonderful job, and some of the visuals and action scenes are really good. I felt that they made this film too late because the first film came out 20 years ago. If this film was made in the early 2000s, then it would have been a better film. Well, much like Lucy starring Scarlett Johansson and that last year's disaster movie San Andreas, it was a decent entertaining movie. I really don't think that Independence Day 3 is ever going to happen. If you're a fan of science fiction movies and alien invasion, I suggest you rent it or wait for it on Netflix. Also, another suggestion, go home and rewatch the first Independence Day movie and remember how classical it was, because that's what I would do. So I give this movie 2.5 out of 5 nuclear bombs.